Hello, today on Nova Legends podcast, I got South Lakes coach Mike Desmond, fresh off a big win in the state quarterfinals against Fairfax. Great game last night. Welcome back, Mike, Coach Mike.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes.
Oh, of course. Look, I was there last night. Great environment. I actually pre-gamed with some old South Lakes graduates and fathers of players, and enjoyed the game immensely. And then I went to the post-game celebration, and it was just great to see all the former South Lakes players that were there. I saw Paul Barberi, John Lewis, class 87, Lonsdale McCollum, great player, 94, I think. Joe Blythe.
Yeah, Lonsdale jumped over me and dunked on me in a summer league game when I was a sophomore.
Well, you weren't the only one. But anyway, and also Mark Wilkins. There are just tons of folks came back. I'm leaving some folks out, and I feel bad. But anyway, it was a great environment last night, and I think you guys have really got the whole community behind you.
It's amazing, just the atmosphere. I mean, all year we've had great fan support, but just the last 2 or 3 weeks, you just get all the alum back, and it means something to them. And that's what's special about what the current run's doing is it means something to the alumni. And I got a text from Wendell Bird after he won the region, and it's like, oh, I'm done. Everything's accomplished. Wendell said I did a good job. It's always going to be his program, but if Wendell said okay, then all right, I've done something right.
Yeah, he seemed very happy. He was following on the Facebook Live, and he was very happy and thankful for updates. So he's following very closely. So it's great. I mean, you got the whole community, and not only, I think it also helps to have Christy and Jerome's son on the team as well, because that's a connection also to alumni.
100%. And they've been fantastic parents. Because I had their older son his senior year. I had Jerome Jr. So they have been great to me since I stepped in. And you would think people of that stature, they're legends, right? They're legends. They were great players. She's a great coach. They have not once said anything to me about roles or playing time. They've really been great to me. Just let me coach their sons.
Yeah, well, so they can see like you can that. First of all, they're basketball people. They're good people, but they know he's going to have his time. Even though he had a big three and another big basket yesterday to really help just when he needed it as well. But before we get there, I know you had some injuries or you're kind of banged up going into yesterday's game. What kind of week of practice did you have last week going into the game?
We had probably practiced the first 3 days were just more focused on us. Just a lot of shooting because guys are hurt, and this time of year, everyone's banged up. But I got some guys who are hurt. So there wasn't a whole bunch of up and down. It was more technical and walking through some of the things that we expected from Fairfax. We ramped it up a little bit more on Thursday, but for the most part, it was a very, let's shoot a lot for us, but this is what Fairfax does. And having that week to prepare was great because we didn't have to dump it all in 1 or 2 days. Yeah. So we were able to kind of build day by day and kind of really focus in on some of their key things more on Wednesday and Thursday. So that it was nice.
Yeah. Well, the game yesterday, again, great environment. You guys came out on fire. I think you scored the first 7 points, or maybe it was 7-2 early before they settled in. What was the game plan, and were you able to pull it off?
And I said it last week to you, Mike Barbie and Dash, they do a great job. And we knew we were going to see junk, and we knew we were going to see zone. We were kind of caught off guard. We saw the triangle and 2 coming, but he triangled into 2 different guys. And when you're so limited in practice and you just got so many guys just walking through things, it took us a while to kind of settle into it. And, we got the great start, and, that typically happens when you're at home. But, they did a great job, and our game plan of execution probably wasn't where we would like to have been. But, we did a great job, I thought, when they made their run and took the lead, taking a deep breath and just kind of going back to some some fundamental principles versus zone or junk zone. And, but guys made plays too, right? Like, guys made plays.
Yeah, and one thing we talked about last week that I don't think worked. They did try to bring the ball up away from Kyle, like you predicted, and this kid's a good. I forgot the kid's name. He's a tall African American kid, good player.
McCrory. Yeah.
He had a lot of turnovers yesterday. I'm not trying to criticize him. He's a very good player, but I think it backfired. Having him bring the ball up did not work out too well for them.
I think, Kyle's great, but, EJ can be a pain in the ass as well on defense for people. So it's not like, oh, Kyle's not guarding the guy bringing the ball up, we can take it easy. EJ's a really good defender. He's long and he's active. So, most of their sets, Margot doesn't have the ball to start with. So even if he brought it up and gave it up, the idea was to go really getting guys, kitchens a little bit when they had the ball to make them into ball handling playmakers, not just run a set type thing.
Yeah. Well, it worked well. And I think it was interesting because I thought they had a cold shooting night, and I'm sure a lot of that was due to good defense. And I thought you guys, I thought it was a good performance, but I thought the key was you hit some really big shots. You hit like 2 or 3 threes in maybe it was the late third, early fourth that really gave you some momentum.
Yeah, and they did a great job on Luongo, and he made some shots because he's a shooter, and he's going to shoot them, and sometimes they're going to go in, and sometimes they're not. But Jordan Scott hit that huge 3, and I think the lead had got cut to 2 or 3 when he hit it. And because I think Luongo hit a 3, and then we lost 21, and he hit a 3, and then quickly we came down and found Jordan in the corner.
Yeah, it was great. And once you hit a couple of threes, they never really threatened after that. And so it was a nice win, great coaching job, great performance. Also, hats off to Coach Barbie in Fairfax. Had a great season, historic season for them. He's a great coach, and they got some good players. And I'm sure we'll see them next year with that great player Morgan. But let's get to Hayfield. Hayfield, they did. It wasn't easy. They were able to get by Washington Liberty. Coach Dobson had a great game plan for them. So I heard. So now it's down to what a lot of people thought it was going to be down to: South Lakes and Hayfield, the 2 region winners. What do you think going into the game, and are you going to be healthy?
Hayfield's great. They're great, and you look at their top 6 guys, right? And the one kid's name I don't know is the kid that comes off the bench, number 5, I believe. Yeah. But he was second team all district. He can play. He starts for most schools, hands down, no question. We were supposed to play Hayfield earlier this year. We got hit with the COVID bug, and the timing just wasn't good to reschedule. It just wasn't. I wasn't going to reschedule a non-district game when district play started. And Carlos and I talked today, and he was disappointed. His kids want the game. My kids wanted the game, and we decided, jokingly, I said, well, let's just do it in the state tournament. So.
Yeah, well, here we are. So what do you think the keys to the game? Obviously, they're undefeated. They've been all over the state, and they really have not been tested except for by Woodson. What do you think the keys to the game are for South Lakes to win?
No, you have to limit your live ball turnovers. I told my kids today, I'd rather get a 5 count or throw the ball at Coach Carlos out of bounds and let him catch it so we can go set up and play defense. You can't have silly, sloppy turnovers because they're just too good transitioning from defense to offense. I think they're one of the best teams I've seen forcing a turnover, and it could be 3/4 courts and just pushing the ball ahead. They have fantastic guard play. The Holloway and Pratt kid, those 2 guys can knock down threes. They can put on the deck and they defend. And the King kid he's a throwback. He's a throwback post player. He runs rim to rim better than anyone I've ever seen. And those kids find him. And Jones is a highlight waiting to happen if he gets a break. And the Wheeler kid, just an amazing athlete, basketball player, and tough. He's a tough kid. So you can't turn it over against them. And you're going to at times. So it's getting 5 guys back. It's definitely going to be us having to do a better job rebounding the basketball than we've done. And you just got to make them shoot tough shots. And I mean, they're going to make shots because they're great. You're not 135-0 or whatever Carlos is right now in a single season without great players that can make shots. So we're going to have to defend, and we're going to have to limit turnovers and value the possession.
Yeah. Well, you've had a great home environment the last few games. This is the first game on the road, and since you played at Centerville, which was a neutral court in the districts, are you concerned at all about going to Hayfield? I know you're going to bring a whole bunch of people. So what do you think about going on the road for this game?
It is what it is. I wasn't complaining when we had the home court advantage, right? So I'm not going to complain now, but you wish this game would be at a neutral site, especially as the underdog. You wish it was at a neutral site, but Hayfield, it's a giant arena. I'm glad Carlos finally paid the electric bill and got the lights turned on this year.
Yeah.
But I mean, that crowd, that fan base, it's an amazing environment, and it's going to be special. Like, as a high school kid, you don't get to play in that kind of environment too often. And we're going on the road, and so be it. It doesn't matter if it's home or away. Hayfield's still Hayfield, and South Lakes is still South Lake. So would it be nice to be at a neutral site at home? Sure. Am I upset that it's at Hayfield? No. I mean, Hayfield's great no matter where you play them. So
yeah. Well, obviously, if there was common sense in the world, we'd have a doubleheader where we could watch the Patriot Battlefield game as well. We'd have 2 amazing matchups, and we can really enjoy this thing. But it is what it is. I'm really looking forward to going down there and seeing this game. I really enjoy both teams. It's just a great matchup, and I think if there's a team that can match up well with Hayfield, it's definitely South Lakes. I think most people feel that way. So I'm just looking forward to going down there, and I'm sure it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out, right? I mean, it's amazing the things that they've accomplished this year. And it's funny how many people have said, like, oh, well, hey, good season, Mike, but you guys have to play Hayfield now. I mean, okay, well, I guess we have to play them, so we might as well show up and see what happens, right? So,
yeah. Well, I mean, you guys have a lot of good athletes. You guys play really good basketball, well coached. They're going to have to play well to beat you, and you guys are going to play very well to beat them. So, but look, it's the state semifinals. What do we expect?
Right. And I think it's not surprising that both games were close last night. I mean, it's a state tournament. It's most likely games where kids realize it's win or go home. And, if you're a senior, you're playing for your life. So kids give a little extra, and the games are always really competitive with good teams.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, I can't wait till Monday night. So the game's at 7:00 at Hayfield. I would recommend folks buy the tickets online if the link becomes available, because I think it's going to be close to a sellout, even though it is a Monday. So, well, Coach Mike, thanks a lot for your time. I know this is probably a crazy weekend, and I will see you. I will see you on Sunday. I mean, I'll see you on Monday.
Monday. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Coach. We'll see you.